You are the boss. You don't have to trade time for money. How's it going, guys? Today we're gonna go over some sales. What sold video. We have 33 sales going out today for $821.50. I ship items every day. Usually I try to get it done before lunch. Today's a bit of a different day because my son is sick. I had to take him into the clinic, and that is very detrimental to running your own business, mainly because I become now the primary caretaker of him when he's in his sickened condition. With that being said, it got me to bringing up this idea of what are the benefits of running your own business. And number one, things like today. My son is ill. My wife doesn't have any days to take off this year. She has to build them up. I can pretty much put everything on hold. Now shipping, what I'm about to do right now, I can't put on hold. I have to do this every day. I've got some really good sales to talk about. We're gonna go in my office a little later so I can kind of dive in and explain why some of these items sell for more. We're gonna continue on with our list of pros to why running your own business is the best thing ever. But number one, it's taking care of those in need, because you can kind of put a hold on your business because you are the boss. All right, so we're in my home office. This is a spare bedroom in my room. I have a photo station here. I got my scale and my computer right next to me, and I process clothes on this side of the room. What's really great though about having your own business, especially working from home, is number two, you are the boss. A lot of people are the boss of their own life. They make their own decisions. They go to school. They follow the rules. They, go work for somebody and they get a paycheck, and, they choose to go on vacation or whatever. Whenever you're the boss of your own business, it's pretty much the same as that, except all hours of the day are your own. You don't have to trade time for money. I mean, in a sense, you have to create, money in some way, some form or fashion. But the best thing about it is you get all the glory, but you also get all the blame. So it's a bit of a double edge, but once you figure it out, once you get to the point where things are like really operating on all cylinders, you don't have any issues. So I would have to say that would be definitely like, if not the first best thing, it's the second best thing, is you are your own boss. So jumping into this order though, they got 2 Territory Ahead shirts. Now Territory Ahead is, I don't know, they have like Aztec prints. Sometimes they have basic prints. They paid $10 for one of these items and $14.74 for the other. Now, if you're new to my channel, I push a lot of volume clothing. A lot of my sales are under $25. The average sale price last year was, I think, $23.65 or something like that. I got a video where I go over my income. We made $64,500 with $207,000 in sales. A lot of volume, but it does work. Now, there's a couple high dollar items that sold, and I'm going to talk about that today as we pack this up. But this is one example of, if you have a lot of items that are very similar, then people will buy multiple quantities. The way it works when you buy multiple items is they're going to pay $8.99 shipping for the first item, and then they pay $2.99 shipping for the second. Now, a lot of people think $8.99 shipping is high, but the rates on shipping go up and up, so it's very important to keep up with that. Now, Ground Advantage, which I need to make a video about, that's the shipping option you can use for pretty much anything like that falls in its range. I don't know the exact parameters for the range, but this one, for example, is cheaper to go Ground Advantage. It's $7.16, but they actually paid $11.98 in shipping. Gonna make some profit there, and that's a really big deal. If you are trying to do this model, I would suggest try not to spend more than $5 on any of these items, because when you spend $5 and you sell it for, let's say, $24, the profit is pretty low. So with that example of selling something for, let's say, $24 and you're spending $5, if the shipping is $7, you're gonna profit $8.39. That's not a lot of money, but if every item makes you $8 and you sell 10,000 items in the year, that's $80,000 profit in the year. So it's definitely, it's a workable model, but you have to understand what you're picking up and why you're picking it up. And for these, this one had great pattern and texture on it. This one had also striping. If these were solid reds, they probably wouldn't go for as much money. All right, reason number 3 why it's very cool to work for yourself, especially from home, and that's gonna be you can hire help. I have a part-time worker, Randy, who is tremendous. Randy comes in twice a week. She usually works like a 5-hour shift and a 7-hour shift leading to 12 hours during the week. And she does all my photoing. She does the de-tagging, the buttoning up of shirts, the processing, whether some need to be washed, others, are good enough right off the rack. Randy is the reason that I have time to upload YouTube videos. She's the reason that I have time to develop my other business, which is like an affiliate marketing, doing video marketing. And then my fourth business, which I'm trying to develop, which is running advertisements for other companies, basically making reels for them, making posts, things like that. When you're the boss, you can decide to take a little bit less money in order to grow somebody to be a part of the business where you can end up making more money. So, sometimes it's a bit of a cost to train them up, but if you find the right person, you know what you're doing. If you've had your, 10,000 reps or whatever, then it's very easy to kind of just train somebody. But it is difficult. I went through many people. I think I interviewed at least a dozen. I had somebody work for about 5 days and I had to let her go. And then when I came across Randy, within, I think it was the second day, maybe even the first, I knew she was going to work out. So I would suggest if you are in the hiring process or you're trying to figure out who can fit this role, if you don't see it within the first few hours or the first day or two, you need to move on. That person's not going to be it for you. I would also suggest having like a trial period where it's kind of informal, but you say, hey, I'd just like you to work like an hour. And if they can't pick it up, if they can't listen to you, then you need to move on. So hiring help is a big deal. If I wanted to, I could hire enough people to where I wouldn't have to do much of anything, but it would take some time to grow the business to the point where I actually make the same money I'm doing now. Like by me doing the work quickly and understanding, what to buy and things like that, it's very hard to train every aspect of it, but you can't do that. If you want to be completely hands off and spend all your time somewhere else, create another business, you can hire somebody to do all the work for you now. Much easier said than done, but it's something you can do. If you're clocking in, working for somebody else and you say, hey, it'd be a lot easier if I had an assistant, your boss may say, well, no, you're not getting an assistant. Like, this is how we're running it. You need to go down and do your job, put your nose in that computer or go knock on doors or make calls, whatever you have to do. But when you're the boss, you get to decide how your business runs, and that's a big advantage. So the next item we're going to talk about is a vintage Wrangler long sleeve button shirt. This one had contrasting collar to the actual print and the rest of the shirt. Now, Wrangler is a brand that I sell tons. Like, a lot of people sleep on Wrangler because it's sold at Walmart. It's fairly cheap, but there are tons of profit in the Wrangler category. They have very unique designs. They have the brush poppers, which I think are the most valuable ones that I've found. They're a bit older, but most of the vintage Wrangler, like, that stuff's in style. Like, people really like those loud prints and patterns. Anything different than like your standard Wrangler stuff is going to sell. But I'll tell you this, the standard stuff, like the flannels, you can still sell them for $19 to $22. It's pretty crazy how powerful Wrangler is. I would put them on the category below Polo Ralph Lauren, but Polo Ralph Lauren is another one that I just sell thousands of dollars throughout the year in, and this one's no exception. I sold this one for $26.46 plus $8.99 shipping. Like, that's a tremendous sale for just a Wrangler, and the reason I picked it up, well, one, it's pearl snap, but two, the collar is contrasting to the rest of the shirt. It was like, it's a dead giveaway, that it's going to be profitable. Tremendous sale on that Wrangler, and I'm going to pack it up with bags by Jiaropack. Jiaropack is a poly mailer, a shipping mailer company. They have these nice colored ones. This is the royal blue, which is easily my favorite color, but you can also get it in plenty of different colors. They do have padded bubblers, which are really good if you're doing some types of hard goods or maybe you just want like a little bit better presentation. However, I've been using the poly mailers in the different colors for a very long time, and I really like them. You can check out their website. You can use Taylor10. It gets you 10% off your first order. It's a discount code that they gave to me to pass to you guys. And every time you guys do buy from Jiaropack and use that code, I get a little bit of commission. So I really appreciate everyone out there that does that. It allows me to have more money to take care of my son because he has those co-pays every time he has to go to the doctor. Check out Jiaropack. Find your favorite color. The post office, they'll recognize you. If you come in with blue bags every time and everyone else has white, they're going to know those are your bags, and it's pretty hard for them to miss. So check out Jiaropack, use Taylor10, appreciate it, and we'll move on to the fourth reason why it's really great to work for yourself, especially at home. All right, so the fourth reason why it's very cool to work from home and to have your own business is you can take days off whenever you want. So today it's not truly a day off. I mean, I'm taking care of my son.
Hey, Seth, you feeling okay? Hey, what are you doing?
I am getting some work done. But if you feel like it, you can turn your store off, you can close up operation, or you can pass it off to your employee for the time being, and you can just take a vacation. Now, me, myself, and my wife, we haven't gone on any like big trips since having our son. However, we do plan on doing that in the future. But for example, yesterday it was 72 degrees in January in Texas. So what that meant for me was I was going to go out in the backyard, fire up the grill, grill some steaks, relax, have the afternoon off to myself, and kind of just reflect and think about you know, kind of look inward and think of how things are going, like what can I do better for the business, or just shut it all off and just like soak in the sun and kind of relax. And that's what I was able to do. Now, a lot of people do that on the weekends, a lot of people do that after work, but I can pretty much do it whenever I want. I like to work very hard and fast for like an hour to 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. And then sometimes I like to take an hour off or 2 hours off and just kind of go for a walk. Take my dog for a walk, Ragnar. He likes to chase squirrels and stuff like that. But it's very refreshing. I tell this story sometimes where it was whenever I first started full time work, and I think I was a year in, and my dad, it was on a Sunday, he was asking me, do you ever feel like a little anxious going to work on Monday, like, dreading going to work? And I said, Dad, Mondays feel like Saturdays. Like every day kind of feels like I just get to choose how I want to work. How hard do I want to push it? And he was just kind of like, because it's hard to relate to somebody. But I can tell you when you do take that jump and that leap of like, I'm going to provide for my family, myself with no safety net, it is nerve wracking. Like it is kind of scary, but if you know what you're doing and you're consistent and able to work hard, then you just do it. There's been many of nights I've worked deep into the night, listing items, researching items, sourcing for 12 hours a day. Like I've done all that, but once you figure it out, you can start buying back your time with employees or just getting faster at what you do and making more money. So being able to take off whenever you want, that is a massive, massive benefit to having your own business. So the next item I want to talk about here, this is a Polo Ralph Lauren, but this is special. This one is the rugby polo. Now the rugby ones, sometimes they have contrasting collars similar to the Wrangler. This is a long sleeve polo. It'll have a rubber button. So whenever you have the button on the collars, the rubber ones are going to be the rugby style. Now, this one was a 3XLT, so it did bring the price up $27 plus the $8.99 shipping. If this would have had any type of crest on it, any type of numbering on the sleeve, anything like that, it could have doubled the price of it. I've sold these for like, upwards to 40, 50, $60, just depending on how cool it looks. But super excited about this one, very happy. Even other brands that are rugby style, like your Chaps Ralph Lauren, your Izod, like anything with the rubber button rugby style is very popular. People really like it. Sometimes the cotton's a little bit thicker and people, they just like that style. I don't know. I've never really worn one of them, but I can tell you almost all of them that I've picked up have sold. Even if there's stains on it, it'll still sell for good money. And finally, we've come to the number 5 reason why it's super important, super cool, super awesome to work your own business, work from home, and that's going to be you're building a legacy. You're building something that's bigger than yourself, something you can pass on to your son, your daughter, another family member, or maybe even a friend. Whenever you're building something so big, like a giant piece of value, it's something special. It's making an impact on the world. I'm paying my taxes. I'm supplying thousands of people a year with clothing that they can get affordable and that they enjoy. I mean, I'm also creating like kind of a huge nest egg for my son. I have a ton of security and all this stuff. Like if the world ends today and you need a shirt, I'm gonna have thousands of them in my garage. Building something, building a legacy, something bigger than yourself, something you can pass to somebody is huge. And yeah, let's say my son doesn't want to sell clothes or say, whatever. He's not into it. He could either find somebody, like you can lead him up with a manager who does most of the work and he can still get some of the money, or you can just sell off everything and your business is still worth like something. So I think it's great to do this. And then I also think it's good to, you know, kind of like grow your family with it. Like my son's going to understand how the workings of businesses are. Like he's going to understand that like when you work a low paying job, there's a reason for that because the job doesn't demand much. But whenever you're running everything, like there's tons of demands and that's why you get all of the, you know, the fruits of your labor. So I think leaving something impactful. You know, I mean, okay, we're selling clothes on eBay, so we're not solving the major problems of the world. We're not curing cancer here, but what we are doing is we're building something. We're leaving our stamp on the world. Like this Taylor Exchange hat that I got made, it might find itself in a thrift store someday. Like if my family doesn't keep it after I'm gone, it's gonna be around. Like you're leaving a mark. These YouTube videos hopefully will live on the YouTube servers forever, and my descendants can come down and see this video and be like, wow, great 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 grandpa was a little bit crazy, but he did something and made it work. So with that being said, we're gonna get to the best item of the what sold video, and that's gonna be the Bird Dog Boomstick Pants. This brand, I think I've come across it once before. I can't be too sure. Sold for $50 plus $8.99 shipping. It's gonna be a golf brand most likely. I don't know the importance of it. Maybe it's not even a golf brand, but it's got like that Lululemon style. And what I mean by that is like this shirt's Lululemon, and when you feel it, it feels different. The material is different than most materials out there. This one has a very similar feel to it. It's a very slick look, and it's something people are paying up for. Used pair of pants going for 60 bucks. I'm all here for it. I'll be here for it all day. It's not something I can find every day at the thrift, but having these big sales mixed in with all my smaller sales brings the profit up, and I love it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys can make those strides to like being your own boss, working from home. And if it's not for you, you can still build something like this on the side and have a great time with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out Jiaropack. Make sure to comment down below. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.